Hi, welcome to this Yin Yoga practice. Yin Yoga is a slow-paced style of yoga where poses are held for a longer period of time. These long-held, floor-based poses help to improve joint mobility and range of motion, particularly in the hips and the spine. The aim is to find the edge or the end of your range of motion and then hold that posture with support of our props for several minutes, allowing time and gravity to take your body further into the pose. Yin Yoga is a more meditative practice with time for stillness in our bodies and quiet in our minds, and using our breath to relax and release any tension in the muscles in our body to allow for release and lengthening of the connective tissue, the ligaments and the tendons and the fascia. So it's a different practice than a flowing vinyasa or hatha yoga, but equally important. And so with that, we'll go ahead and get started. For this practice, you'll need several blankets, a few pillows or bolsters if you have them, and maybe an eye pillow if you have one for our Shavasana. So we want to begin seated, comfortably and tall, whatever that means for you. So maybe up on a blanket, maybe legs are crossed, maybe one is in, one is out, just whatever feels good for you. Nothing magic about how we're sitting, just as long as we can find some length in the spine. Rolling our shoulders back and down and just beginning to close our eyes, bringing our attention inward. We have lots of time in this practice to just be mindful of what we feel and where we feel it, breathing into those places and allowing them to let go. So we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathing away any busyness, any distraction. Breathing in a sense of peace and calm. Letting go of anything negative, anything that doesn't serve us. Breathing in only good things. Knowing that right here, right now, we have everything that we need. Continuing our deep breaths, let's just start to rotate the torso. Just moving some energy along the spine. Starting nice and slow. Taking our time as we start our body moving. Just letting it find its own path, its own range of motion, its own path. Just allowing ourselves to feel and observe sensations are in your body. Noticing any thoughts that may come to mind. Let's go once more this direction, and then we'll change the direction of our circle. Starting small. Maybe that circle gets a little bit bigger. Just seeing how fly moves. This smaller circle is what once or twice more this direction, and come back to the center. Let's roll the shoulders up by the ears, down and back a few times. arms down, shake them out. We're going to begin with a bound ankle pose. So for this posture, we want to be sitting up on a blanket, and we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. So we sit up on the blanket just to create a little bit of space for the hips, kind of maybe even allowing the pelvis to sort of tilt forward a little bit. We're going to take one blanket, and these blankets are great. These sort of these blankets, Indian blankets, Mexican blankets, they're called different things. But yoga blankets, they're very commonly used in yoga, but they're great. They're kind of dense and a little heavy, and so they serve a lot of purposes in yoga, but you can use anything that you have. But you want to roll it about this, fold it about this long, and then roll it up, kind of making like a thick roll. Let's bring it over top of the feet, and then we're going to take each of the ends and just wrap it under the ankles. So this is going to support our ankles. It's also going to give us a little bit of support so that our hips aren't open quite so wide, so we can relax a little bit more. Now once we have that, our feet can be wider out away from us, or we can kind of use the ends of the blanket to tuck them in a little bit tighter if that feels good for our body. Just finding the right edge for ourselves. We want to, again, feel like we're getting a stretch, but not so much that we can't relax into it eventually. All right, and then taking a couple of pillows, you can fold these up, making them as high as you want to, just to support our body as we fold forward. So with the bound ankle and the legs, we're going to sit up tall, lengthening the spine, and as we exhale, folding over our pillows, letting our arms just rest in front. Resting our forehead down, get those pillows out of the way so you can breathe. Just relaxing head and neck and shoulders, relaxing through the spine. Feeling the spine just gently rounding forward. Maybe we feel a stretch through the hips, through the inner thighs, the outside of the hips, maybe the back. Just noticing where you feel this. We all feel these postures in different places and in different ways. And they may feel different one day to the next. As we notice those tight places in our body, sending our breath to those places and feeling them release with each exhale. Notice that effort, that tension in the muscles start to come back, just breathing in. We come into these poses as much as we're able to. We want to find stillness once we're there, once we settle in, not making any movements. Of course, if something is painful, we can adjust for that, coming out of it. But if we're able to hold the posture through maybe some discomfort, through a little bit of opening through the joints, using our breath, knowing that our bodies are safe. With time, we may find gently coming out of that pose, slowly pressing up. Our bodies may feel a little bit fragile after some of these poses, after these deep opening stretches that they may not be used to. So always taking our time, we can use our hands to sort of slowly bring those knees in, move the blanket off to the side, straightening our legs out carefully and just moving and shaking them any way that would feel good. As we move on to our next posture, it's a side lying, a supported side lying posture. So we can take our blankets here, and if you have a firmer pillow or several firmer pillows, even like a throw pillow, a couple throw pillows might work well here too. Or we can take our blankets, fold them up, kind of creating a bolster. So we want it to be a little bit more dense to support us, maybe rolling our blankets in thirds, bringing it right by our side. We can put a pillow on top of it so it's a little softer, maybe having a pillow out to the side, and this is going to give us a place to rest our arm on. So sitting facing the long side of our mat, one knee is bent, the opposite leg is straight. We're going to scooch ourselves over so that the knee is right next to our stack of blankets and pillows. So we're going to lengthen the spine, sitting up nice and tall as we inhale, and as we exhale, just folding the side over that bolster. So the bolster supporting us. We can come down onto this arm if that's comfortable. We can also kind of cradle the head with it. If we want to stick another blanket between the arm and the shoulder as a little bit of a pillow, that's fine. And then with the top leg, if it feels okay to keep it straight, that's just fine. But sometimes there can be extra tension in the knee, feeling a little bit of hyperextension, and so we can just soften that knee a little bit and let it rest just wherever there's no effort. So that lengthen the side on top, that flexion of the side on the bottom, and then we have the option too of taking the top arm and reaching it up overhead, maybe letting it clasp the fingers of the other hand just to kind of hold it in place. And then just letting your body sink into this pose, relaxing through both hips, lower back, through the arms, through the shoulders. This top arm, if that really isn't working for our shoulders today, it can just rest in front. And then we just have the side flexion. Close our eyes here once again and just let our bodies settle into stillness, sinking into the floor, into our props, noticing any tension anywhere, breathing into those places, allowing the release. start to bring our arm down to our time, facing our pillows with both hands slowly pressing up, being very gentle as we come to center, moving our bodies just any way that feels good. And then moving our whole setup the other way. So bringing our stack of blankets or pillows to the other side. Take the pillow on the other end. Support the arm and head. With our one knee bent and our other leg straight, scooting right up next to our blanket so that thigh is right next to them. Sitting up tall, lengthening the spine, and as we exhale, slowly folding our body over, extending the arm, maybe a pillow under the head, blanket for a pillow. We can relax that top leg, we can extend the arm up overhead, and if it feels good on this side, and it may feel good on one side and not on the other, just depending on our shoulders, so see what feels good here. Letting the body just sink into this side lying posture. Opening the top side of the body. Any areas where tension may have crept in, breathing into that tightness. Take 3 more deep breaths. Very gently, slowly breathe. Arm back, turning to face our pillows, pressing up very gently, taking the time, just moving our bodies gently, any way that feels right. All right, let's take that same stack, that kind of makeshift bolster that we made, and put it lengthwise on our mat. We're just going to slide it or flip it around so that it's lengthwise on the mat here. And then we can take a pillow over it if we would like to. And what we're going to do is we're going to lie back, doing kind of a back bend over it. So if we bring our hips around, the closer we are to this bolster, the more of a back bend we're going to feel. And the farther away it is from us, the less of a back bend we're going to feel. So we can play with that distance and see what feels good. Slowly rolling ourselves down lengthwise and feeling the spine just kind of open up and fold over these pillows and blankets that we have stacked up. Now, if we feel a lot of extension through the neck, if we feel like our head is tilted back a lot, we can use a small blanket. Even a hand towel rolled up as a neck roll is helpful here, just to support the neck so that we don't have any more extension of the cervical spine of the neck than feels good for our body. Our legs here can be straight or bent. Some people feel more straight, some people feel more bent, so just whatever sensation you're looking for. The arms out by our sides, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit closer to our body. Again, we can play with that distance. And then just let our bodies rest here. Finding that stillness, making any adjustments. And as we breathe and release, feeling the body letting go. onto our side. Come out of that back bend, maybe sitting right up, just kind of, as always, seeing how we feel. Moving your bodies any way they move. And we'll bring something for our head. And then we'll come down to our mats, lying down, face up. We can hold behind one thigh, use our forearm to kind of roll us down gently. Maybe hugging our knees into our chest here. And then bringing both feet flat on the floor, coming into a spinal twist. Taking a deep breath in as we exhale, slowly lowering both knees to one side. Arms out by our sides. If we would like some support here, we can put a little blanket under the bottom knee, maybe between the two knees. Finding that edge, and then releasing to the top leg, to the bottom leg. Just feeling your body sinking into the posture. And when you're ready, a deep breath in, exhaling both knees the other way, using the blanket for support between the knees or under the knee if you'd like to. Relaxing the top and bottom leg, both hips, the lower back, and back, shoulders. Notice thoughts come into our minds, stealing in and out. up from the hips. As we get ready for Shavasana, for our final relaxation, we can move and stretch our body any way we would like to. Any adjustments. And then using some of these props and bolsters to make our Shavasana really restorative. So we can bring blankets or pillows under the knees, maybe a blanket on top of us for warmth. And if we don't need it for warmth, maybe just for the weight of it. Weight of a blanket can have a very soothing, relaxing effect on our bodies, on our brains. With something behind the head, eye below if we have them. And then just as we settle in to this relaxation, our arms out by our sides, our palms facing up, away from our body a little bit so that we can feel the shoulders just sinking into the floor. Relaxing through the face and the jaw. And just settling in. No work, no effort. Stillness in our body, quiet in our mind. Beginning to move our fingers and our toes, bringing awareness back to our physical bodies. And then taking our time as we slowly roll onto one side, coming into a fetal position of rebirth after corpse pose, symbolically leaving behind anything that doesn't serve us, turning over to the new. When we feel ready, slowly Gently pressing our bodies up to seated, sitting comfortably and sitting tall, and just taking a moment here to reflect. Grateful for these bodies that we have. Thankful for them exactly where they are today. And grateful that we've made time to be here today to do something good for our bodies, good for our minds, something that's just for us. Once more, as we inhale, sweeping our hands overhead, bringing our palms together as we exhale our hands to our hearts. The light in me sees and honors the light in me.